Today's recipe is super simple, delicious, and sugar-free. You know, I'm trying to get off that sugar. You know, sugar is like crack, cocaine. It's tough to get off, but I'm doing my best to get off the sugar and get back onto my healthy ways of living. So this cake is sugar-free. I use date instead, and that's why the cake is called date and ginger cake. So first up, I'm going to show you the flours that I'm using. I'm using this flour, which is oat flour, and how I made it, I just simply ground up some rolled oats into a fine powder. So I've got 2 cups of oat flour. I have a cup and a half of sorghum flour. I love sorghum. Sorghum is one of our superfoods, and I want to try and bring it as much as possible into my recipes because I love it. I love what it does to my body. It's gluten-free. Making this cake gluten-free. Also, the rolled oats is also gluten-free. I use whole rolled oats, so making it gluten-free. Wheat-free, actually, not gluten-free, wheat-free. And I mix the two. I mix the sorghum and the oat flour together. I find that it gives me a nice crumbly cake, but also quite not too crumbly, not fine crumbly, but like a nice crumble. So it brings in that nice nuttiness into the recipe, and also it keeps the recipe wheat free. So you can use normal flour if you want instead of the 2 that I've substituted, but I love to play around with sorghum, and I know sorghum flour is quite tough to work with if you have to actually use other flours together with it. So I've got my 2 flours, which is 1.5 cup of sorghum flour, 2 cups of oat flour. I've got my spices here. So I've got my ginger. So I've got 5 teaspoons of ginger. I've got 2 teaspoons of cinnamon and 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. So the spices are going to bring in that spiciness into the dish. And then I also have baking powder, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon bicarbonate of soda. I've got some salt. I've got a teaspoon of salt in here. I also have my dates. So what I've done is I soaked the dates in 1 cup of boiling water. So it's 250 grams of dates. I took 200 grams and I chopped it up, and I soaked it in 1 cup of hot water, boiling hot water, blended it to get this nice caramelly paste that's going to go into our cake. And I also weighed up 160 mils of coconut oil. So that's all the ingredients I have, and that's all the ingredients I need. As I said, this recipe is vegan, so there's no milk, there's no sugar in it. I use dates instead, so it's sugar-free, vegan, and delicious. So let's get to it. So my cake is ready. It's out. I'm just gonna let it cool for a little bit, and it's ready to be frosted now. So our lemon frosting that I showed you earlier how to make, I'm just gonna drizzle the frosting over the cake like so. Very simple, nothing too hectic. Just drizzle it just to add that extra flavor onto the cake, that lemony deliciousness flavor onto the ginger cake. There we go. just roughly put it. I mean, there's no formula to this. This is like the easiest frosting you'll ever do. Just all over the cake. And then we're just going to leave it to dry, to be, you know, so the frosting actually just sits in the cake and adds the flavor. We're just going to leave it to cool some more. And when it's ready to slice, I'll be slicing it and sharing it with you. As promised, the cake is ready to taste. I'm going to slice a piece and just show you just how amazing. And just look at that. It's beautiful, soft, light. Delicious, crumbly, gingery, spicy. Just enough sweetness from the dates. It goes very well with my chai tea. This, I promise you, you make it once, it will be your favorite cake ever to make. It's gluten-free, it's sugar-free. Okay, maybe a little bit of sugar on the drizzle, but the cake itself is sugar-free, gluten-free, delicious, and very spicy. Love it. It's a perfect tea loaf, the perfect cake to have if you love ginger cakes. This is the perfect cake to make. It's got no eggs, no milk. Yeah, this is the perfect vegan ginger loaf. So yeah, get in there. This is so good. I'm so afraid that I'll finish the whole loaf, so I'll just have one more bite and say goodbye to you. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Click subscribe. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me. I'm on Instagram as Chef Mokgadi Itsweng. Follow me on Twitter as Locha Home Foods, and follow me for interesting, amazing, easy to make, plant-based, vegalicious recipes, plant-based, indigenous recipes using indigenous grains. So in this instance, I use sorghum flour for my cake. So it brings in that nuttiness, it brings in the richness. It's delicious, it's healthy, it's packed with protein. Yeah, it's everything. It's extra vegalicious. So see you guys next week. See you guys next time when I show you how to make how to preserve vegetables that you might buy from the store, and you find that you've got a lot of vegetables and you need a way to preserve them to have them last you longer. So I'll show you how to make to preserve the red peppers that I bought last week. And yeah, click subscribe, share with your friends, join me on this vegalicious journey, and let's create amazing vegalicious plant-based recipes that will have you drooling for more. Have an awesome day and bye.